All right, welcome back to Vuln Vibes, everybody. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
Today, we're looking at some, well, pretty major Jenkins vulnerabilities.
Yeah, these aren't just little hiccups. These hit right at the heart of what Jenkins is all about.
Exactly. Managing sensitive data, automating tasks,
Yeah.
the core stuff. And we're going to skip the basics today.
Yeah, our listeners know they're ICRE, ATT, and CK. They understand kill chains. No need to rehash all that.
Right. So let's jump straight in. First up, we've got these vulnerabilities. CVE-2025-27622 and CVE-2025-27623.
Encrypted secrets exposed.
Yeah, you'd think if you lock down user permissions, just agent extended read or view read access, your secrets would be safe, right?
You would hope so, but that's where these vulnerabilities come in.
So what's the problem?
Problem is, the way Jenkins was handling these encrypted secrets through its REST API and CLI, they weren't being properly redacted.
Oh, so even though the data's encrypted, attackers could still get a hold of it.
Potentially, yeah.
And what kind of damage could they do with that?
Well, think about it. API tokens, database credentials, all sorts of sensitive stuff gets stored in Jenkins.
And they could use that to
Move laterally within the network, escalate privileges, the whole 9 yards, exfiltrate data, disrupt services. It's not good.
definitely not a good scenario. And this isn't just theoretical, right?
Yeah.
These vulnerabilities actually affect quite a few versions.
A lot, yeah. We're talking Jenkins 2.499 and earlier, LTS 2.492.1 and earlier. So, yeah, a lot of systems could be vulnerable here.
All right, something to take seriously then. Moving on, we've got another one. CVE 2025-27624, a CSRF vulnerability.
This one's interesting.
I have to admit, when I first read about this one, it seemed, well, kind of minor, messing with side panel widgets. I thought, really, that's it?
It's easy to underestimate these things, right?
Oh, absolutely, but
But you have to remember, even a small vulnerability can be a stepping stone.
so what's the danger here?
Well, an attacker could use this to store malicious content in a user's profile.
Ah, and Jenkins often runs with elevated privileges, so.
Exactly, that malicious content could be used to do a whole lot more damage.
Makes sense. So it's all about chaining these things together.
Exactly.
So what versions are we talking about for this one?
This one affects versions prior to 2.50 and LTS 2.492.2.
All right, so we've got two pretty serious vulnerabilities down. Now, last but not least, we have the open redirect, CVE 2025-27625.
Yeah, yes, the classics.
A classic for a reason, though, right?
Right, they still work.
Because people trust links, especially if they look like they're coming from a legitimate source.
Exactly, and that's what makes this one dangerous.
So how could an attacker exploit this?
Well, they could create a malicious link that looks like it's from Jenkins, something
Right.
that seems totally innocent.
And if the user clicks on it?
They get redirected to a malicious website, and then, well, the attacker can do all sorts of things. Steal credentials, deliver malware, you name it.
So 3 vulnerabilities, all with the potential for some pretty serious consequences.
Absolutely.
But the good news is there are patches available.
Oh, yeah. Jenkins has released patches for all 3 of these vulnerabilities.
So if you're running Jenkins, update, update, update.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
What versions should people be looking for?
The fixed versions are 2.500 and LTS 2.492.2, so make sure you're running at least those.
Perfect. Good to know. But I think this also highlights a bigger issue, Even the tools we rely on every day can have vulnerabilities.
It's true, you can't just assume everything's secure. You have to be proactive.
So how do we do that? How do we move beyond just reacting to vulnerabilities as they pop up?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is, and it's something we all need to think about. We can't just keep playing catch-up with the bad guys. We need to be thinking ahead, anticipating threats, and building systems that are resilient, even in the face of vulnerabilities.
Couldn't agree more.
So to our listeners out there, we want to hear from you. How do you think we can move towards a more proactive approach to security? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, because this is a conversation that needs to continue. And until next time, stay vigilant, everyone,
Stay safe out there.
and we'll see you on the next deep dive.
See you then.